I am Ami McClure, mom to McClure Twins, Ava and Alexis McClure, as well as Jersey McClure, new baby boy.
I am Justin McClure. I am her husband and father to the same kids, the McClure Twins, Ava and Alexis, and Jersey. And on social media, we are the McClure Twins family.
It was, I guess, coming up on 2 years now. October will be 2 years that the big viral video happened.
Oh, baby, don't cry. I'm not saying bigger. She's not bigger than you. You're the same size. She's just 1 minute older.
I'm just 1 minute older. I'm just 1 minute older. That's it.
When that viral video happened, we were kind of like, okay, what do we do now?
We had to decide what we wanted to do, and I think my skills in film and video, we were able to keep making feel-good content, the content that we wanted to make. And the girls always, when we asked them, they enjoy doing it. They want to spend more time with mom and dad, and it kind of like elevated from there, I think.
Cut.
Hold
on.
Lexi,
come here.
Lexi.
Come here, Lexi. Come here.
We have to leave the set alone,
Lexi,
okay?
you have to be quiet when Ava's talking.
You gotta be
Then when
quiet.
it's your turn, Ava's going to be quiet, okay?
We're having sex so that I get hear Ray sucking.
You can't hear when who's talking.
Yes, I knew something.
But we weren't talking.
We gotta
you weren't talking.
We gotta talk. We're gonna talk to Ava right now, okay?
But we do allow them to know that it is still your decision in a way, because even though we, the ones who create the content and kind of put you out there, it's still your life. And maybe when they turn 7, they don't want to do this. I didn't set out to be on social media, and it's difficult to say that because we are so visible, but that was never the plan. And right now what we're building is eventually going to go to the children. Like, I don't want to be doing this, and I have no interest in doing this.
Yeah. The amount of time I spend, lighting and editing and photography, it's a lot of work, But this is their inheritance. If you look at what an inheritance is, like they have millions of people that they can market to in any way that they want if they choose to, and our son as well. And if they have, if they want to sing, dance, if they want to do poetry, if they want to get into sell, whatever they want to do, here you go.
We're trying to build something that is their legacy, and they can choose to say, okay, I don't know, maybe by the time they're 10, they'll have 5 million people. I don't know what it will be. They can say, okay, we built this. These people have followed us since we were 3. They grew with us. Do we want to continue nurturing this? Maybe they don't want to do it at 7, and that's fine. But maybe they do. And what if we didn't take advantage of the time that the light was on them, and now they have it? Now at 7, they're like, oh, this is my game. I'm running and popping. I've already got these people who love me and what I do. And I think we really had a conversation about how do we want to build this for them. And I don't regret that. I do regret sometimes the intrusion into our lives.
So we were never exposed. We were exposed on the internet, but in our real life, people obviously.
There's no shock to anybody.
Everyone knows. If I know anybody personally and you get to know them a little bit, like, I tell them that I adopted the girls and that type of thing. So I think some people show up to the party to complain. They get online to complain and find something. So those are people that, those situations we, try to ignore.
It was not about duping or trying to hide what does that matter? There's adopted kids all over the place. Our decision was, if they're going to be in social media and popular, I would hate for someone to walk up to them on the street when they're 3.5 and say, oh, Justin, I'm so glad that you adopted these girls. And they're like, what? What does that mean? Because at 3, they don't understand. So we took the time from about 3.5, maybe almost 4, to start telling them, so that by the time we shared it, it was no confusion to them. It was no shock of their life. They're just like, oh, I don't care. I already know that.
I think the adoption was final
July 2016.
July 2016.
Obviously, there's a biological involved. So it's not just so simple, just be like, oh, we're going to do this. But he was nowhere. So how do we?
Well, I think I quickly shifted from a person who didn't know what I wanted or whatever in this regard. And then when I, loved Ami and loved the girls, it was really aggressive on my part. I don't think it was even Ami as much as I just said.
It was more him. Yeah.
It was more me, and I just said, I want to adopt the girls, and I want this to happen quickly because I felt this person could be damaging, and I just said we need to take the responsibility away. And I didn't even realize at the time how big of a responsibility that is, like adopting a kid. But it was such an ingrained, visceral thing in me that I just knew that it was something that I wanted to do. And I said, I don't know how she took all that, but it was like, and then next thing you know, okay, we need to be married if we're, this whole thing. So we got married soon after that, on the girl's birthday, July 12th.
It was hard to come to grips with all of that because I'm like, do you realize that means that no matter what happens with you or I, like, you are responsible for these children, like physically, financially, everything. Like, there's no going back from.
I should have thought about that.
We both kind of decided at the same time, like, let's see what happens, and if it doesn't work out, then no loss.
It was crazy how my life changed as just a single person living the same life for years. In New York City, and then all of a sudden I'm the guy that I make fun of in New Jersey. So I knew that I was at a point where I wanted to, it's just meant to be. And I just said, I want to be their dad.
Sing the song.
Oh, you got a song for me?
Happy Father's Day. Happy
Whoa. Can I beatbox to it? Ready?
Okay, ready? Happy Dad's Day to you. Happy Dad's Day. Happy Dad's Day to you. Ready?
You would have to tell me that we're interracial for me to recognize. I don't even care. Like, I love her. I love my kids. It's not something that I think about. I appreciate her color and her culture and where she's from. I appreciate that, but I don't look at her and like I'm with her because of that. You know what I mean? So people ask questions, and I think we look at it from a different angle. Like, we're just a family.
We don't talk about it necessarily in the household unless the girls ask a question, because in the same realm with the adoption, we tell them about it, but we don't try to force also a point of view on them. So the other day, you weren't there in the room, they asked me, I was telling them about their tans. I'm like, you girls got really tan being in the sun. They're like, yeah, we did. Look at our, and they're like, are we gonna get as dark as you if we spend more time in the sun? And I said, well, no, that's physically impossible. There's no way you're gonna get as dark as me. And they're like, well, why? Why won't we? And I try to explain to them, well, I am just this color because this is how I was born. This is my color. You girls can get darker because you are of African Black descent, so you can get color, but you can't get this color. It's impossible. So just helping them understand. I said, and your dad could never even get your color because he's pasty. So that type of thing. We talk in that way, and we want them to see people obviously for who they are. It's impossible to say you don't see color because you do, but to see past that, if that makes sense. You see the person's color, you can ask questions about it, how come they're different than me, but see past that and say, okay, I like them because they're nice or they're funny or whatever the case may be. But as far as the interracial thing, I think that people feel like we are trying to push ourselves as, you all should do this too because it's great. And I don't feel that way at all. We're happy because we're happy. But if you only want to date within your race, it's perfectly fine as long as you find somebody who makes you happy. But some people will just be so closed-minded that they say, I will never date outside of my race. And that's the type of thing that I'm like, okay, well, that's sad for you, because what if you miss the person who is the best fit for you, but they're not in your race? So that type of thing is how I feel about it. In no way do I feel like everybody needs to date interracially or go find you a white man. I don't know. Well, men are men to me. Like, he can be an asshole too. So.
Well, no. I tell
you can.
Well,
okay.
Listen, I'm like I said, I don't mince word. I think I'm very kind. I'm not nice. I'm empathetic. I'm not sympathetic, and you can put that on there. It doesn't matter to me. That's who I am. How we became this couple is a beautiful story about the human spirit and what we can accomplish and what we can be. And we try to inspire people with our content. And so the greatest story we never told was ours. We want them to have a really good life. I came from a lot of poverty. Ami came from another country, Nigeria. So I don't want to pass on my struggles, to our kids, and we're not. And that's the great thing about it. And so we get to make great memories, we get to make this content. When we're older, they can look back and they can see this high quality stuff and they can oh, that's who we were. And yeah, we got to do all that together. And as long as we can use our influence for good and we can make people feel good and we can make good content like we've done around the special needs community and many other things, then I'm happy. I want them to use their influence to, help make the world a little bit better.